Besides the effigies that we've seen in featured videos on my YouTube channel, identifying and describing naturally occurring volcanic glass Paleolithic story stone face and mammoth effigies, we have another glass naturally occurring that also was utilized in making these wonderful Paleolithic effigies, and that is Libyan Desert Glass. Libyan desert glass is found on the surface mainly in Egypt, out in the middle of the desert, sandy desert, along the border of Libya. And I would say that 95% of the specimens on the surface are Paleolithic artifacts, of which probably 90% are these Paleolithic story stone face and mammoth effigies, which are the most common flake stone Paleolithic effigies on planet Earth, by far. And it's actually hard to find a piece of natural Libyan glass, desert Libyan glass, that hasn't been modified or worked by our paleo ancestors. So it is very common. It differs from volcanic glass in that this is rich in sodium dioxide, as are all tektites, moldavite included. And then obsidian is high in sodium dioxide as well as man-made glass. In naturally occurring volcanic glass, such as this specimen from Mount Shasta, which is a mammoth facing left with its eye, the natural bubble that has been flaked to the surface, that it has no oxygen in it at all. Has lots of sodium, but no oxygen. It's very unique in that regard. And this glass, volcanic glass, is much heavier, much denser, and much harder to break or chip. This is more crystalline, and it's much more easy to break and chip, and is much less dense. And so we have that baby mammoth now facing left with this, the eye and the hair tuft. When we tilt it back this way, now we have a little more aggressive or assertive mammoth. It's almost rearing up in an aggressive stance with, again, the hair tuft above the head. And then when we view it either this way or this way and use this as the eye, then we have a mammoth that's maturing and throwing its trunk up into the air. And then we have other images of mammoths here as well. We have this wonderful image here. That's a mature mammoth now. Mature mammoth now facing off to the left with his big trunk over here. And we have that dark spot as an eye looking off from the back of the mammoth. And also looking up from the back of the mammoth, because this eye right here, this dark spot, will correspond to this as a nose and an open mouth down to the left there. And when we hold it this way, now we have a baby mammoth with its little trunk off to the lower right. And on the other side, you see it's formed almost in the shape of a hand axe where it's been flaked and worked. Again, remembering that we have to understand what wind-blown flaking scars look like. And then we have another great mammoth image right here. So we're going to see the baby mammoth again with his little trunk off to the left right here. And we're going to see the more mature mammoth with the sweeping trunk coming off to the right, facing off to the right. And here's an exaggerated eye with a nose and a mouth of a Indian face looking off from the back of the mammoth. That is cool. And when we hold it this way, now we have the eye of a face here and a nose and mouth of the younger face looking off to the left. And this eye and big sweepy nose over here of the older face looking off to the right. Now this area here has all been flaked and ground. That's all ancient grinding there. That's been anciently ground. There's no modern chips or damage on this. If there were, it stands out like a sore thumb because it looks like real shiny glass. That's all been ground right here, flaked and ground. That's been flaked and ground a little bit. This has been ground big time. All that's ground, natural occurring ground. That's Paleolithic grinding. Paleolithic grinding, and then this part here has all been pecked and worked here. And it's got some just great face imagery on this. Great facial imagery. And all kinds of things that catch you off guard. For example, This young face with the eye, the nose, and the mouth with the nice hairdo up above looking off to the left. Isn't that cool? They did that on purpose just like that. They dug that out. That's been chipped out. The nose and the mouth down below of the young face looking off to the left. And when you look at it this way, they use that dark inclusion as the eye, and this is the nose of the older face now looking off to the right. So cool. They were really, really, really adept at imagery and knew how to really provide us with some interesting features in this stone. And then when we have another face that's very cool. Here's the eye here, that's the one eye. This is another eye here, and its mouth almost in a moaning type of look or appearance there, looking at us. An eye over here, and the mouth here, in kind of a, tormented look. Kind of a tormented look there, looking at us right there, with the open mouth down below. They did that all on purpose. So that's a really nice effigy made out of Libyan Desert Glass. Here's another really cool one. You can see the trunk of the mammoth, the mature mammoth, facing off to the right. Its eye right there. And when we turn it this way, we have another mature mammoth now facing off to the left. And we have a face looking up from the back of the mammoth. You can see its eye, its nose, right there looking up from the back of that mammoth. And then when we hold it this way, now we have the baby mammoth with its hair tufts above the head and its big eye right there, facing off to the right. And now we have that baby mammoth facing off to the left with the hair tuft up above. And that's all been smoothed and ground there. And then we have human faces here. We have the young face with the upturned nose, and this as the eye here, this inclusion as the eye, looking off to the right. And then we have the old face with the big nose, sweepy nose, eye, sweepy nose, mouth, looking off to the left. And the cool part is, this came with natural holes that they embellished by flaking around the edges of those natural holes. You can see all those flaking areas there, all the little flakes they took out. So we can see another cool face, almost like a horned shaman type. That's the eye, the natural hole. Here they left the horned shaman and the nose over here, facing off to the right. Wow, that is really cool right there. Of that face facing off to the right there, with this the eye right here. And the horn. Almost a devil look. And then you look at it over here. Now we have the old face with the exaggerated eye and the open mouth down below, looking off to the left now. Wow. What a great effigy that is. And then this effigy here, again, has been ground surfaces, been flaked here, and been ground there. You can see all the grinding and the ground surface there. That was all smooth. You can feel it too. It's all ground surface like on a mono, for example. And we have the baby mammoth with his little trunk facing off to the right. And the mature mammoth with the nice trunk over here facing off to the left with the eye up here. Very cool. These are wonderful Libyan Desert Glass, Paleo Story Stone, face and mammoth effigies of a larger statuary type features. And I will also post a video of some of the flakes that are beautifully done and beautifully flaked and beautifully etched, made out of this wonderful Libyan Desert Glass.